What's up, guys? Got a video for you here. Why MSTR is underperforming Bitcoin at this point for now in the cycle. So I've been waiting to make this video for a while because it's kind of funny how people just don't understand how MSTR works or how strategy or anything that Michael Saylor's doing. They don't really understand anything about the company because what they've done is something completely new. So in this video, what we're going to do is we're going to show you guys historically, okay, what's going on here. Okay, so to kind of just talk about the underperformance. It's kind of been over recently during Bitcoin's recent all-time highs, okay, in Q3 2025. So, but MSTR hasn't really greatly underperformed Bitcoin. So I mean, if we take a look here over 5 years, we see MSTR is more than double outperformed Bitcoin, and then even over the last 52 weeks, it's up. So this is kind of just recently. This is kind of a recent trend. So like recently, as you can see, over the last 30 days, from I would say around like July 14, 2025 to August 14, 2025, strategy has started to underperform while Bitcoin's, gotten strong, so people are kind of just wondering what's going on. But year to date, so far in 2025, year to date, okay, about midway through August, the returns have been pretty similar. But let's just talk about the little bit of divergence recently for now, but I'm still bullish. Hey, what is about to happen with MSTR? This is hilarious. And this is basically based on human emotions, okay? So a lot of this video is not going to just be like we're talking about like trading. We're going to be talking about human psychology. Why is that? Well, damn, it's kind of funny how everyone was like against Saylor, and then now they were for him, and then now everyone's against it. It's really funny. But anyway, we're going to talk about it more. So first off, you guys enjoy MSTR. You guys hold MSTR stock. I want you to smash the like button right now, because some of you guys have been watching, following my channel, you guys seen some of my MSTR videos from the past. So for some of you guys bought in around 120 when I first mentioned it. So you've been holding this way. You're nearly up 4x. So far, okay, so far. So let's just get right into it. You know what I'm saying? It's been a fun ride. And for you guys out there who are new to MSTR, we give you guys the quick information. This information isn't rocket science. And too many people are just spending too much time worrying about the wrong thing instead of worrying about the most important adage that I can give you guys when it comes to MSTR. The stock market in the short term is a voting machine. In the long term, it's a weighing machine. A weighing machine. And that's exactly what's happening with MSTR. So, MSTR, quick rundown for you guys new to everything. You guys have been holding. They've got over 600,000 Bitcoin. Okay. Bitcoin is the most valuable asset on planet Earth right now. They have more of it than anyone else. So this is the most valuable company in the United States, in my opinion, and probably, unless there's another nation state or someone like that copies Saylor strategies, could be the most powerful entity in the world in maybe the next like 25 years. Just because like we're a quarter way through the century and stuff like that, and we're moving to blockchain and transparency, the transparency with the transactions. So I think strategy understands that. So everyone's been talking about blah blah blah. Why is it underperforming Bitcoin? I'll explain why. Well, this happened before actually, previously. But let's go to the history lesson real quick. So, you guys, I'm using TradingView. You guys can check out in the description below TradingView. You can grab a link and use TradingView. It's awesome software. So, in the last post-halving year, okay, MSTR ended up, basically bouncing off of resistance here, and just settling in, and then we entered the 2022 bear market. But here's the difference when it comes to MSTR this cycle. So previous cycle, right? The most of the explosive gains happened in about we can take a look here. It was about Q1 2021. Okay, Q1 2021. That's when most of the explosive gains happened. Now, this cycle was a little bit different though. Okay, so last cycle, MSTR topped out in Q1. Okay, but now this post-halving year in Q, it didn't. It actually went down. So, what am I hinting at here? We've seen a flip in terms of the pattern in post-halving year because the overall sentiment and the overall value, okay, of MSTR has changed greatly. Remember now, they have 600,000 Bitcoin. Every dollar Bitcoin moves up, they make money. So the company's already on pace to record anywhere from like 50 to 80 billion in profits, pure profits, potentially, if Bitcoin has an explosive move. So a lot of people think Bitcoin is moving to 175, 200K, 300K. Remember, MSTR is going to keep profiting from this movement. So for me, it's easy to see that right now in the current cycle, people are voting against MSTR. So we're going to take a look at it here. The short seller, okay, Jim Channel. So this is actually one of the reasons why there was a couple short sellers that were betting against, okay, MSTR when it hit about $543. You guys remember that Q4 2024 or December 2024? It was crazy, right? So the short interest, okay, is almost 10%. So we have a potential for a short squeeze, okay? The short interest is 25 million shares, right? It's been increasing the value as we've headed more into the cycle. So we now have potential for an explosive short squeeze. This is something that is not being shown on the chart. Remember, strategy has 600,000 Bitcoins, or 628,000 Bitcoins, something like that. So, okay. Now, let's say Bitcoin's trade at around 125-ish range, 24, 23, whatever. Let's say Bitcoin has another $50,000. Okay. Another $50,000. Okay. Do you see what I'm hinting at? Strategies will book another $31 billion in profits. Pure profits. So the weight of this potential gain isn't really being thought about right now, right? Stock was shorted. It's flattening out. Everyone's going to think that it's going to top out at the end of the year just like it did previous cycle. But in the previous cycle, it was different because remember now, it was a market-wide dump. Market-wide dump, right? Interest rates, started going up. So it wasn't something, they started raising interest rates and things like to curb inflation. So it wasn't like, it wasn't like Saylor's fault or anything like that, that Bitcoin and assets like that crashed. It was a market-wide, it was a macro issue. So now that that's behind them, now that the company has all this Bitcoin and the weight of it, the weight of the Bitcoin on the balance sheet is going to be so great that you can't ignore it anymore. It's like the stock market is a weighing machine. So people are now like voting, I believe, against MSTR, saying like, oh, well, the MNAV is too great, which is 1.16, which is it's fine because the Bitcoin per share is continued to going up with Bitcoin positive Bitcoin yield. So, it's really interesting to think about trying to bet against the most valuable company in the world that has done 3,000% gains. It's just like, where is the performance coming? I'll tell you guys where the performance will come. The performance will come in October. October is when the weight of this is going to be too great, and we're going to see that potential short squeeze. So this is not financial advice at all. But I think it's like time to load up those calls on MSTR and because remember now everyone's betting against it. It's got a 10% short interest. Bitcoin's aggressive movement could trigger a short squeeze. I think it's foolish to look at the previous cycle and just assume that was the top back in December and it's just gonna crash. I just think it's crazy. I don't think it's just different this time. It's different. Things are different with MSTR. The profit is so different now. It's just so different. If you just think about where they started from, right? Buying Bitcoin in 2020, and then how far they've come, over 600,000 Bitcoin. Okay? Unbelievable, guys. Unbelievable. Then I'm going to show you guys some more statistics you can take a look at, okay? So you can understand that, yeah, there is some potential for some downside in the bear market. But right now, I think it's just the time to load up those MSTR calls and to just hold long shares. Matter of fact, you even potentially buy. So if we take a look here, yeah, you see, like from a technical standpoint, plenty of support, around 360. The potential is there for the short squeeze. That's what no one's talking about, the short squeeze. That can come when Bitcoin potentially breaks out to the upside. So, Bitcoin, looking here at a monthly chart of Bitcoin, we still haven't reached that bright green region. Usually every post-halving year, Bitcoin on the monthly chart, it approaches that bright green. The interest is strong and the price spikes. So that's going to happen, and that's going to force MSTR to skyrocket. So, yes, that's my opinion, I think. Taking a look at these calls, okay, MSTR calls. So, I just think the weight of the balance sheet is just far too great to ignore. I mean, who knows? Who knows right now? The MNAV is 1.6. They've got cheap calls here expiring, in January. Move the date back a little bit. December calls, yeah. They've got some nice December calls. A lot of contracts open. Who knows? I'm probably going to load up some of those December calls with MSTR. Why not? I just figure that's exactly what I want to do. The exact opposite of what everyone's going to think, because everyone thinks the MSTR is going to follow the previous cycle, and I just don't think it will. I don't think it will. I do not think it will. That's right. That's right, guys. Yeah. I'm calling it right now. I'm calling it. You see what I'm saying? MSTR will hit $1,000. That's the resistance. That's the resistance. That's the resistance. It won't actually hit 1,000. It's gonna tap 990, something like that. Q4. That's what I think. I just have a feeling. The weight of the Bitcoin hold is too much for the price not to spike. Yeah, shit. It's crazy, man. This is gonna be really interesting if this short squeezes, because no one's really talking about the short interest. It can squeeze it. It can really make an explosive movement up. right? Because it already tapped 540, right? That was back. The Bitcoin was, you know, just over 100K, so, right? And Bitcoin's approaching 200K, okay? You know, it's going to move at an MNAV. The price has to move. It's going to move at least double, right? So it's at 380 right now. So that means like we're looking at like least bare minimum. A bearish call is like 750-ish. So that's why I say I think it's going to tap 99. So I'm going to be loading up some of those calls for sure. You know, some of those calls that could end in the money. Man, some of these calls are going to print, man. I think the $800 calls are probably. I don't think it'll make it to 1,000. So I think those $800 calls could really finish in the money. Because let's say it taps like 950, 960, 970. Dude, those are going to be deep in the money. So I think that's probably a safer bet. I think 800 is more conservative. But 1,000, those $1,000 calls look nice. These calls I'm going to load. I'm loading these. This is not financial advice, guys. This is what I'm doing. Okay. I'm going to be loading these calls in September. Buying the dip. Okay. Things are going to drop in September. September is a bad month for stocks and crypto. So expect things to drop. So I'm just loading these calls up. I would say you guys have been in the MSTR for a while. Hang in there, guys. I'm about to wrap this video up. Like, hang in there. You know, we don't need to talk about too much, complicated technical stuff right now because, like I said, I'm betting against the crowd. But just because it's been underperforming right now doesn't mean it's going to continue with the way those Bitcoin holdings. But you should still have Bitcoin. You know, you should still use Bitcoin. I still use Bitcoin savings, but MSTR is going to fly. So that is why MSTR is underperforming Bitcoin for now. But Q4 2024, I think that's going to change. All right, guys, wrapping this video up. You guys like my channel? Give me a sub. Yeah. Till next time.